Thanks very much for joining councillors and staff and to our guests today. Thank you very much. For minute-taking purposes, the meeting will be recorded, please.
Welcome councillors and guests to tonight's meeting for July 2023. Before we begin tonight's official business, we'll be observing a minute's silence for a former staff member, and some council bounds will also speak about NAIDOC, but I'll leave it to the general manager to speak about our former staff member that recently passed away.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Sadly, councillors, one of our respected and valued water and wastewater operators passed away on Sunday evening, Mr Neil Skulls. He was with us for just over a year, but really provided tremendous input into the development of the team, and he loved working for council, and he's going to be a great loss to us.
Yeah, I'd just like to take this and have a minute of silence for our past elders. This is coming up to the end of NAIDOC week, which is a pretty significant week in our culture, and I'd just like to pay our respects to all and just have put our heads down, have a minute's silence, please, for everyone that's passed before us.
Thank you, councillors. Please be seated. Sorry. Sorry, if we could be back up standing. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, acknowledgement of country by Councillor Bowditch.
I'd like to take this time to reflect on our ancestors in the past who walked on our Mother Earth, which affects all of us. We all live and breathe and walk around the Mother Earth. And with that, I'd like to pay our respects to our elders past, present and emerging, and any Torres Strait Islanders who walk with us as well. And thank them for giving us the earth and the waterways that we work on today.
Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift. We give you thanks for the blessings you bestow upon us in the Shire. Grant those who hold office in the council of spirit of justice and truth, of wisdom and charity, that mindful of our responsibility and of the needs of those we serve, we may promote the true welfare of your people. Exercise wisely the faithful and authority committed to us, and advance the common good through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
There are no applications for attendance by video or audio. Brings us on to apologies. We have an apology from Councillor Leckie, Councillor Mahajan to move, seconded by Councillor Douglas. Those in favour, please raise your hand. Further carried. Confirmation of the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 27th of June. Have someone, Councillor McNeil and Councillor Marshall. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Disclosures of any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests. We'll go first with that one. It's in the community infrastructure 10.2.2, page 184, S138 Roads, Act 1993, Bengalla. Installation of water pipeline under Bengalla Road. Insignificant due to an agreement with Bengalla and Group 21, who I do commentary and videography. Moving around to my left.
10.2.3, Mac Energy Share geotechnical investigation works at Cayuga, Dorset and Castle Rock Roads. My daughter works for the company, or works for the company paying the bill. And 10.4.2, Westpac Rescue Helicopter event sponsorship, as I am in the opposition car club. 10 and 10.2.2, Bengalla Mining Company installation of water pipeline. My daughter works for the contractor.
10.4.1, which is a sponsorship Young Endeavour Youth Scheme. The applicant for the sponsorship has been identified by Rotary Club as a future community leader, and so we've endorsed her and other things.
Scott?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I have two in planning and environment. Item 10.2.2, page 184. Section 138 of the Road Act 1993, Bengalla mining installation of water pipeline under Bengalla Road Bridge. The nature of my interest is pecuniary. Mr Mayor, my employer undertakes work for the applicant. The second one, also in planning and environment, item 10.2.3, page 197, section 138 of the Roads Act 1993, Mac Energy geotechnical investigation works for Cayuga, Dorset and Castle Rock Roads. Again, pecuniary, Mr Mayor, as my employer also undertakes work for this applicant.
Councillor Woodruff. Do you have any on the right-hand side? Councillor Douglas?
Hey, do you mind if I don't
Hang
stand?
on, I'm happy if you don't stand.
10, item number 10.2.2, page 184, the S138 Roads Act 1993, Bengalla Mining Company installation of water pipeline under Bengalla Road Bridge. Pecuniary interest because we received funding at the LAC where I am the CEO. Also, item number 10.2.3, page 197, the S.138 Roads Act 1993, Mac Energy geotechnical investigation works, Cayuga, Dorset and Castle Rock Roads. Pecuniary interest because we received funding from them also at the LAC where I'm the CEO. And then 10.3.2, page 220, the Wanneroo LAC Feeway, the request for our NAIDOC event this Sunday. Pecuniary interest as I'm employed as the CEO there.
Okay, I have a pecuniary interest in planning and environment, 10.2.2, page 184, S138, under the Roads Act 1993, Bengalla Mining Company water pipe under the road, Bengalla Road. Reasons being, I'm a member, vice president of the Netball Association, Bengalla sponsors them, and also I have a daughter that works for KCE, who contracted Bengalla. 10.2.3, page 197, S138, Roads Act, Mac Energy geotechnical investigation works, Cayuga, on the corner of Dorset and Castle Rock Roads. Again, insignificant. I have a daughter that works for KCE who also contracts to a company that works at Mac Energy.
There are nil mayoral minutes. There's nil public participation, which brings us to business. And the first item being 9.1 Blue Flame Restaurant. And there is a recommendation that council notes the information contained in the report. Councillor Drayton and Councillor Bowditch. All those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimous and carried. 9.2 Luscombe Lane and Tommy Gill Chair. The information contained in this report be noted. Moved by Councillor Bowditch, moved by Councillor McNeil, seconded by Councillor Bowditch. All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 9.3 Upgrade to Muswellbrook Cemetery. Council notes the information contained in the report. Councillor McMarshall and Councillor Bowditch. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimous and carried. Sorry. 10.1 10.1.1 DA 2017 AD Muswellbrook District Workers Club modification. Council approves the section 4.551A request for DA 2017-18 involving alterations and additions to the Muswellbrook District Workers Club, lot 100 DP 1282301 and lot 61 DP 733294 to modify the outdoor gaming area and car parking arrangements subject to the recommended amended conditions in attachment C.
Happy to do that.
Councillor Drayton and Councillor Douglas. Any discussion? Anyone speaking for or against? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Happy to stay for the rest of the meeting if you guys wish to. Otherwise,
Thank you very much.
thank you, no problem.
Thanks for not causing any trouble, Mike. All right.
Been a long process, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. 10.1.2, the draft Community Environment and Economic Development Fund Policy and Deed. One, council notes the draft Muswellbrook Community Environment and Economic Development Fund CEEDF policy and CEEDF deed. Two, council supports staff carrying out engagement on the draft policy and deed with parties who currently have planning agreements with council for state significant development projects in the Shire. Three, following receipt of comments, a further report shall be presented to council regarding the CEEDF policy and CEEDF deed.
I'll show you.
Moved by Councillor Sculls, seconded by Councillor Marshall. Is there any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. I've all nights to ask me to read out everything. 10.1.3, major land care projects. Council approves the allocations for 2023-2024 major land care budget as proposed in table 1 of the report. Moved by Councillor Woodruff, seconded by Councillor Dunn. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.1.4, monthly report to council planning, environment and regulatory services. The information contained in this report be noted. Have someone to move that? Councillor Woodruff and Councillor Dunn. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2, community infrastructure draft recycled water policy MSC 23E public exhibition. I have to read it out, unfortunately. Council, there's a recommendation. The council endorses the attached draft recycled water policy to be placed on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 28 days, and requests a further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition. Moved by Councillor Sculls. Someone to second. Councillor Marshall. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Say that unanimous and carried. 2 point. Good luck reading all that out. Thank you, Councillor Sculls. I'll be leaving the chair for Councillor Sculls to.
So we can sort of vote on this as the section is.
It's a procedural motion, that's right. A procedural.
Yeah. Okay, seeing as we don't have a quorum for this particular matter, I'll put forward a procedural motion, but we delegate to the General Manager authority to determine the S138 Roads Act 1993 approval for the installation of a water pipe and scour rock as proposed by Benguela Mining Company. Do I have a seconder?
A question, do we have the authority to do that? Yeah, cool.
Yes, because the Mayor asked me to sit in the chair because he left the room. He asked you first and you declined.
No, do you have the authority? Do we?
Yes, as a councillor because I'm sitting in the chair.
Yeah, I'll move that.
I moved it because it's got to come from me.
I'll second it.
And second, are you seconding it? I put the motion. All those your hand, please. I declare it unanimous for the 6 that are in the room.
Thank you, councillor Scholes.
You've done that before.
It just isn't up there.
Well done. 10.2.3.
We should we should have 2 couple back, shouldn't we? Or are you the only one back? You might be. Oh, that's it.
10.2.3 S138 Roads Act 1993 Mac Energy Geotechnical Investigation Works, Cayuga, Dorset and Castle Rock Roads. There's a recommendation that one council delegates to the General Manager authority to sign the S138 Special Roads Act 1993 permit and a permit approval, generally in accordance with the draft special conditions as attached to the report. And 2, as outlined in the draft special conditions, all insurances and traffic guidance schemes are to be submitted and accepted by council. Moved by councillor McNeil.
I'll second it.
Seconded by councillor Scholes. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Now we can bring our fellow councillors back in.
I'm sure.
Not.
10.2.4, renewal of routine maintenance council contract RMCC number 20.0000303559. There's a recommendation that one, council accepts the offer of a new routine maintenance council contract, and 2, authorises the general manager to execute all relevant contract documentation. Moved by councillor Woodruff, seconded by councillor Douglas. Any discussion? With that, all those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2.5, local emergency management officer. 1, the appointment of Mr. Peter Ball to the position of local emergency management officer for the Muswellbrook Shire Council, and 2, the continuation of Mr. Matthew Lysart in the position of deputy local emergency management officer.
Move that.
Councillor Douglas and councillor Marshall. Any discussion? All those in
favour?
All those in favour, please. Unanimous and carried. Yeah, congratulations.
Well done, Pete.
Congratulations, Peter. Congratulations.
And I can't wait to
Matt?
see the fight.
We think that.
Keep us posted. 10.3, property and place, 93A Hill Street, 10.3.1, 93A Hill Street development review. As a recommendation, council endorses withdrawing DA 2022-30 and proceeding with the demolition development application.
He's up.
Woodruff.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I wonder if it could be changed to make the provision to try to sell the house first,
I'll give it away.
and if that fails, then move to demolition.
Certainly.
So moving it as council endorses withdrawing DA, we'll make it 3 dots. Council endorses withdrawing DA 2022-30. 2, council endeavours to sell the building itself.
Sell the building for relocation.
Removal, sell the building itself for removal. And 3, should not be successful, council move to the demolition.
Yep.
So moved by councillor Woodruff, seconded by councillor Scholes. Any further discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried.
On a real see ya. Yeah, thank you. You don't forget much.
Every worker's got two.
Suppose that half answers it.
Okay, 10.3.2, Wanneroo Land Council NAIDOC Week celebrations fee waiver request. There's a recommendation that council waives the associated higher fees for the sports fields and community building in support of this free community event. Councillor Mahajan and Councillor McNeil. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Councillor Scholes, I think you're out for this next one.
Pardon?
Endeavour. Endeavour,
I entered
10.4.
Things flowing, so is.
Goes out.
10.4.1, the sponsorship of the Young Endeavour Youth Scheme. The recommendation council approves the request received from the individual applicant for financial assistance of $500 for participation in the 2023 Young Endeavour Youth Scheme. And 2, the review of the financial assistance and sponsorship policy be prioritised and consideration be given to the inclusion in the policy of requests of this type.
I'll move that.
Councillor Bowditch, Councillor
Thank
Neil, sorry. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. The Westpac, Councillor Marshall. 10.4.2, sponsorship of Westpac Rescue Helicopter event. Council approves the request from 2333 in O&D for sponsorship of We Live Here cards for the Westpac Rescue Helicopter in Westpac Rescue Helicopter Muscle in the Brook. Event described in the report. Just add the 2. Council provide certificates to be, for the vouchers to be collected from council administration building.
Prizes one.
Anyone happy to move that one? Councillor Douglas, seconded by Councillor Dunn. Any further discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimously carried. Ten 10.4.3, sponsorship, New South Wales Rural Doctors Network 2023 Bush Bursary. There's a recommendation there that council refuses the request for funding contribution received from the New South Wales Rural Doctors Network. Councillor Woodruff.
Yeah, I have an alternate, Mr Mayor, that council accepts the request for funding contribution received for the New South Wales Doctors Network to the tune of $3,000. Yeah.
Man,
To the amount.
I'll second it, but I've asked Councillor Woodruff if we agree that I make a second point. And with regards to, we also canvass and lobby all other rural councils at the conference that you and the general manager are attending in the near future, that all councils also join us in this.
So, Muswellbrook Shire Council. Lobby, advocate for all rural and regional councils to participate in this scheme at the next Country Mayors Association meeting. You happy with that?
Councillor Woodruff, happy with it?
Moved by councillor Woodruff, seconded by councillor Sculls. Any further discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.4, Management of Undetected Water Leaks Policy, MSC 044E for adoption. Council adopts the Management of Undetected Water Leaks Policy.
Also move.
Moved by councillor Sculls, seconded by councillor Marshall. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.5, 2022-23 annual financial statements, audit authorisation. Council authorises 1, the submission of the 2022-2023 general purpose financial reports, special purpose financial reports and special schedules for the Muswellbrook Shire Council to the auditor. And 2, the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor, General Manager and responsible accounting officer be authorised to sign the reports upon completion of the audit. Councillor Douglas, seconded by councillor Mahajan. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.6, report on investments held at 30th of June 2023. Council notes council's investments as at 30th of June 2023. Moved by councillor Sculls, seconded by councillor Mahajan. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.7, council notes the financial report for the month ending 30th June 2023. Councillor Mahajan, seconded by councillor Sculls. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.4.8, report on council grant funding and community engagement. Council 1, notes the information contained in this report. 2, approves resubmitting a revised application under the Create New South Wales Annual Funding for Organisations 2023-2024 for a project titled Improved Collections Management and Digitalisation at the Muswellbrook Regional Arts Centre. And 3, approves submitting an application under the Create New South Wales Project Funding for Organisations 2023-24 for the funding of a new website for the Muswellbrook Regional Arts Centre. Someone wish to move that way? Councillor Dunn, seconded by councillor Woodruff. Got to be quick to all this at the moment. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. That unanimous and carried. 10.5, community economy. 10.5.1, draft Muswellbrook Regional Arts Centre Management Policy, MSC 051E for public exhibition. 1, council approves the attached draft Muswellbrook Regional Arts Centre Management Policy to be placed on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 28 days. And 2, a further report be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Councillor Douglas, seconded by councillor Sculls. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Fee 10.5.2, fee waiver Muswellbrook Toastmasters. Council approves the fee waiver request from the Muswellbrook Toastmasters for the use of the Muswellbrook Library Seminar Room on the 4th Monday of each month for the remainder of 2023. Councillor Drayton, councillor Bowditch. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.5.3, Economic Development Update, July 2023. Council notes the information contained in the report. Councillor Marshall, seconded by councillor Woodruff. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.5.4, Community Services. The information contained in this report be noted. Councillor Mahajan, councillor Marshall. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. Number 11, minutes of committee meetings. 11.1, Audit Risk and Improvement Committee. The minutes of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee meeting held on the 29th of June 2023 be received and noted. Moved by Councillor Sculls, seconded by Councillor Mahajan. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 11.2, the Aboriginal and Cultural Inclusion Committee meeting, 5th of July 2023. The minutes for the Aboriginal Cultural Inclusion Committee meeting on the 5th of July 2023 be noted and the recommendations contained therein adopted. Councillor Bowditch and Councillor Woodruff. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 11.3, Grants Review Committee, 12th of July 2023. The minutes for the Grants Review Committee meeting held the 2nd of July. The meeting held the 12th of July 2023 be noted. Councillor Douglas, Councillor Marshall. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 11.4, Future Fund Committee, 13th of July 2023. The minutes for the Future Fund Committee meeting held on the 13th of July 2023 be adopted. Councillor Mahajan, seconded Councillor Sculls. Any discussion? All those in favour, please raise a hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 11.5, Finance Review Advisory Committee, 18th of July 2023. The minutes for the Financial Review Advisory Committee meeting held on the 18th of July 2023 be noted. Councillor Mahajan, seconded by Councillor Sculls. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Declare that unanimous and carried. 12, there's nil notices of motion. 13, councillor reports. Start to my left. That's Sculls, no?
I think I've already reported on parks, have I? Yeah.
Councillor Woodruff.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I too attended the water conference at Parks. How can they pull some coin? Pretty impressive, both their new water treatment plant and also their wastewater treatment plant. Let alone their wet and wild area that they've got under construction. $70 million and quite a impressive build. I don't know how they managed to jag it, but good on them. The wetlands have also planned to use, Mr Mayor and councillors, the overflow from the recycled water to create a wetlands, which is well in advance. Very impressive. I went to the infrastructure seminar as part of this. I was joined by Councillor Sculls and Ms Chetty, who I might add is a great asset to council. As I said to the GM, I consider her a very good egg, dedicated to her job, passionate about the staff and also passionate about the people that branch of council services. Pretty impressed with Elvis on Saturday night. Hupper, you know. Real. And the Mayor of Parks. We did get to rub shoulders with both staff and councillors from other areas, and in the infrastructure discussion on the Tuesday morning, there's a fair bit of, I suppose, bring out your dead discussion with some councillors smaller than ours that had bigger problems than ours, and what the Department of Planning and Environment can franchise, I suppose, for want of a better idea, how funds are spent. A particular note to me was the assistance they could offer in traineeships. It was sort of widely discussed, I suppose, on on my stream of things, the lack of employees for anything, let alone those that are trained. I suppose it's good to know that we're not alone, but it's also bad to know that we're competing with nearly every other council in the state for the same pot of money and the same professional people. I suppose the other thing that highlights for me, Mr. Mayor and councillors, is the shadow that's basically, I believe, slowly eclipsing over us, which is the current water treatment plant. Have a look at it, having seen firsthand what's available and the way that the parks have gone about it, just encourages me that maybe we should be hunkering down and doing everything we can to facilitate pipelines for water supply. I think the important part of that is, from a parks point of view, is where they've actually built their water treatment facility, not down by a creek. It's right up on a hill. They do a lot of pumping. Currently, it's 33 kV. I think they pump from there from the Lachlan River. They pump into a reservoir that's currently not quite finished. Then they treat that water and then gravity through it back down through all their mains. It's fairly impressive. They also have a bore field that services the town. I think to that end, Mr. Mayor and councillors, I think we really need to. I'm not suggesting we're not on the back foot, but our other decaying part of our infrastructure is really our water treatment facility. I think given planning and environment are offering all sorts of help, should we only ask, and they seem to be the catalyst to also follow a funding envelope. They talk a lot about water for people who have populations 10,000 and less, and we're pretty well covered those brackets in all three, I think, of our towns at the current, not Shire wide, but as individual towns. So I think it's imperative that we should look at what we've got fairly shortly. Irene's pretty well over it, but just what the future holds for us. Other few shires that spoke about partnerships, and I think it's high time that we invested a little. I know we already have pretty good communication with one of our neighbours, but I think it's time that we, whether it's kicking or screaming, try to drag everybody in for the goodness of all. There's one thing that stands out, and I'm pretty sure Councillor Sculls and Irene will agree, is that water is a resource that's going to be in high demand, and the way that the climate is going, it's going to be more of an asset than gold. So I suppose, Mr. Mayor, in finalise my report, that I'm more than happy to put my hand up if there's going to be a committee formed to look at what we need going forward in the future and to start that ball rolling now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wood.
And Eric, my questions. Let go to all council the answers, questions and answer.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Woodruff. And yes, we are working with our neighbouring Shire at looking at the feasibility of a couple of options as we've discussed, and hopefully we can progress that through to a committee, including council people that wish to be on it. So,
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. And currently, the team that's looking into it are carrying out feasibility geotech studies at Brushy Hill in particular.
Councillor Dunn.
I would like to thank the finance team for their work in preparing council finances for the end of the financial year and for their dedication in ensuring that we continue to float rather than sink in the coming 2023-24 financial year.
Any others? No others?
I'll just, not so much a report, but a thank you. I'd like to thank the General Manager and Matt and yourself for the prompt response to the concerns I raised regarding the identification of Luskin's Lane and the pavilion for the Tommy Gill Memorial. It's very pleasing, and I'm very impressed with the manner in which you liaised with concerned parties.
Thank you, Councillor. General Manager also has a spreadsheet of councillor questions that he's going to be sending around with where we're at and the updates with that. Any others? Well, I'll finish, and if anything, I just want to thank council staff for the opening of the Donald Horn building and the professionalism in which they did that in such a short period of time, and with the lack of staff availability due to the circumstances to complete those tasks at hand. So well done to the staff. Questions for the next council meeting?
Yes, before we go there, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to publicly thank Paul Chandler for his work in the Denman Heritage Village, getting to where it is. For those who came up this afternoon, I hope you're impressed as I am. I think it's just amazing. Matt Lysart, the GM, it's pleasing to see a contractor that works for council that has such a vested interest in the outcome of the building. I think he took his hand again today for the 75th time, but it truly is amazing when you see a contractor that embraces, I suppose, the heart of the people of the community that they're working in. Like, if he hasn't had 10,000 visits a day, he's probably had 11,000. But I said to the GM earlier that at no stage was seen any of their team tell somebody to go away. And Paul's just been incredible. It's, as I said to him and Matt the other day, we work and they can be really good and sometimes they can be not so good. I do really appreciate Paul and Matt's work in regard to fielding those questions from the community and working towards the output that we see up there today. And thank you personally too. Appreciate it.
And also, since you're talking about tours, on behalf of Councillor Dunn, Councillor Marshall, myself that went along today, and councillors that have been there before, the animal shelter that's just about complete. Well done to Matt and his team in relation to that, and exciting times when that opens. It's a fantastic facility, so well done. Questions for the next meeting? Councillor Bowditch.
Michelle, if you want to get a cup of tea. My question, first one is, General Manager, I'd like to know if council is considering a cultural training package, or if we have one for employees and new council staff for the councillors, and if we're not, why not? Why aren't we? The implementation of a cultural training package will allow the community here at council to connect with and have an understanding on the tangible and non-tangible items of Aboriginal culture. It will emphasise what it means to the Aboriginal people and why it is up to the most importance to protect their wealth and knowledge and their scarred sites in the areas particularly.
I'll take that on.
We can ask that, yeah, Mr. Mayor, thanks very much. I'll ask the Director of Community and Economy to provide a response, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's something that's really obviously important to the organisation and all of us moving forward. In the weekly digest last week, we did include some, cultural training that's available, and it's something that we really want to try and encourage, all staff to be able to participate in. And with some, a training program will be able to put in place an offer for everyone. Katie raised it herself that she really wants to be able to have more awareness and be able to act appropriately in a different situation. So it's really important, and it's something that we'll definitely implement moving forward.
Yeah, if you want any help, I can show you the DRNSW training package, which is really forthcoming and easy to use too. So. And on that, a question also, we have a statue at Sandy Hollow. My question is, it is written that it is under the language of the Kamilaroi and Kamilaroi language and other associated languages, stating that we are on Wanneroo country. I would like to know if we can have it erected and changed and have Wanneroo language added to that glass sign as well, please.
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. Yep. It's a very good point. We'll look into that. Thank you.
And when I visited the Hunter Beach, the signage at the Hunter Beach, I noticed that the word Indigenous has a little I. It's a grammatical error. I'm wondering if we can have that rectified as well, please.
It's actually going to be done.
Yes, some small corrections were noticed on the signage, and we're currently undertaking an update to correct that, make sure it reflects things correctly.
And another one, we have, I was away Tuesday, Wednesday, so I was in more important meetings with the ministers in Newcastle than up here with the, I think he's had a Prime Minister up here, I believe. One of the things that come out of down there is an ISIP policy for Indigenous culture and intellectual property protocol, it's called. I'm asking the council if we could produce or make a policy on the ISIP policy, similar to one that I can present to you tonight. So this is the New South Wales government one. And us at DRNSW, we have one that has a lot more different things in it that goes with it. One of the things that came out of down there is that this is going to be a fairly big legislation in the next 12 months coming forward with the local government, or New South Wales government, that all local governments and all land councils and who's involved are going to need to do one. Essentially, I'd like to see Muswellbrook Council create a similar policy which will allow us to move forward towards and have more inclusive council in the wider community.
Notice,
Yes, please. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And the last but not least,
Yep.
To the General Manager, through the Mayor, with a lot of the talk with housing and the lack of it that we have in our area. A lot of conversations were had down there on the Tuesday regarding this matter. In order to assist, well, my question for the next meeting, in order to assist with the housing crisis in our local area, I would like to propose the possibility of council working with developers who have the option to develop housing estates, in particular land they have, with the funding that's currently out and about. With that, we'll be able to gain assistance and grants funding from the state government parties, which should be able to assist with the installation of essential infrastructure, this being power, water, sewage and communication services. Although I am aware, been told that they will not fund capital costs like land or stuff like that, but there is availability for grants that can certainly get our money back to fund the infrastructure installations on these properties. It will add to the importance of moving forward on these lands. That's it.
Thank you, sir. That's it.
You want a copy of that?
Yes,
Yes.
I've been told yes. Can we please get a copy of it?
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Any other further questions for the next meeting? Neil?
You awake, Mr. Sculls?
Mr.
I did have one, but I think he's.
No, that's okay. Go for it.
Okay.
I was just, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just in relation to the, and no, not trying to put any pressure on this, but some feedback on the local area promotional video or equivalent. If we could just get some idea at the next meeting where that may be up to. You can tell me now if you like.
Waiting for Paul Hogan to come.
Mr. Chairman, thanks.
I'm sure we've got a couple of Paul Hogans here.
Thanks, Councillor McNeil. The Director of Community Economies is drafting a report that will come to the August Council meeting. in relation to that. Thank you. Well, actually, sorry, Shirley would like to provide an update as well, please.
So there, thank you very much for your patience. I really appreciate it. It's definitely something that I think timing has been really important, and there's a number of things that are kind of coming together at this point in time. One of those is the welcome concierge. So we've just been able to appoint Katrina Keeley, who's just started with us last week. So as part of that funding, we'll be able to develop a whole range of collateral and different, videos and different types of things. And that'll be part of the work that she's done, which state government will pay us for, which is excellent. We were also working really closely with the Upper Hunter Shire Council as well. They're looking at a whole rebranding approach, and we're just sort of in discussions with them about how we could potentially, position or work together from a regional perspective. That's more probably aligned from a tourism side of things than a livability campaign. But both of those things have sort of come together at the same time. So we'll be able to start to progress and have a better plan for you for what that will look like.
That's reasonable. Thank you very much.
Any further questions? We have a recommendation to adjourn and to close council. Moved by Councillor Marshall, seconded by Councillor Dunn. Those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you, councillors, for the closed council session then. Very detailed. In relation to item 17.1, 2022-2023 0564 concrete and minor road works panel contract, council resolved in the way of the recommendation of staff. In relation to 17.2, the 2020, read out that. The recommendation, which was council accepts tender as 100 wide civil and water, and weir construction be awarded as panel source supplies for the Muswellbrook Shire Council for concrete and minor road works for the period of the 1st of August 2023 to 31st of July 25, and provision be allowed for a 12-month contract extension based on satisfactory supply performance, which may take this contract through to the 31st of July 2026. 17.2, 2021-2022 0513, the RFS Cayuga Fire Station Design and Construction Tender. Council accepts the tender from Shea Brennan Proprietary Limited for $722,727, excluding GST for contract 2021 2022 0513 RFS Cayuga Fire Station Design and Construct. 17.3, expression of interest to the Muswellbrook Arts Centre, a cafe and Muswellbrook Aquatic Centre. That 1, council notes the report and the outcomes of the expression of interest process. 2, council endorses the Aquatic Centre to trial the operation of the kiosk for a period of 3 months. And 3, a further report be provided to council in October 2023 advising of future options and outcome of the trial. And a note that from Councillor Drayton that the General Manager will investigate funding for training providers to undertake training of people in the cafe if possible. 17.4, execution of the refinancing of $11.41 million future loan. Council delegates to the General Manager the authority to execute the loan agreement as detailed in the report. 17.5, new community infrastructure depot Cole Road. Council rejects the fee proposal for additional services variation, and 2, authorises the General Manager to negotiate the completion of the contract. 17.6, DA 2013-232 Northview Stage 4 Submission Works Certificate Pathway. 1, council notes the scope of completed and uncompleted works for Stage 4 of Northview Estate and council officers' proposed timeline for rectifications of defects. And 2, supports a bond of $200,000 for $200,000 for a 12-month defects liability period, rectification of defects and completion of works subject to the proponent providing evidence that they have engaged an experienced contractor to complete the identified outstanding works. 3, council officers in the course of negotiating with the developer look at getting a caveat to cover the difference between the 200,000 bond and the remaining and the work to be completed on stage 4. 17.7 electronic document record management systems, EDRMS content manager funding. Council approves the expenditure of up to 150,000 of project reserve funds to fund the document migration component of the content manager electronic document records management system project. That was also adopted by council and moved. And that brings us to the closure of tonight's committee meeting, council meeting at 7:20. I thank councillors, staff for the time and the public that was here earlier. Councillors.